Hey everyone, we're going to give it a couple minutes until everyone jumps in. I hope you're all having a good night. And we'll get started, like I said, in just a couple minutes to talk about the athletes and coaches meeting for RowFest. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining tonight. You are here at the 2024 US Rowing RowFest National Championships Athletes and Coaches meeting. So we've divided the meeting into two. We just finished up with the portion that goes over the U23 Open, U17 and youth racing. And now this portion of the meeting is focused on Masters racing entirely. So if you're not racing during the Masters Series, you probably just missed the first one, and that was recorded, is posted on Regatta Central as well. So today, just a quick agenda here. We'll go from US Rowing, do some key takeaways and introductions, review of registration and venue schedule, and go over the pre-arrival checklist. Then I'll go ahead and pass it to our chief referee, Cindy, to go over a referee welcome, US Rowing rules of rowing, discuss on land and on water procedures, unsportsmanlike conduct. And then we will go over a lot of venue information from both the LOC and myself. So again, welcome to the start of the championship. We will see some of you all this Thursday or Friday with trailers, and we will see the bulk of you all on the following Wednesday and Thursday for Masters racing. On this call today, myself, my name's Sarah McAuliffe. I'm the Director of Competition with US Rowing. From the LOC, we have Gina Terrell. So big thank you to Gina for all of her hard work here. And we have our chief and deputies, Cindy Whitehead and Rebecca Thompson, leading us. So a quick review of registration and venue schedule. So again, I'll note that some of these dates are inclusive of what happens at the beginning of RowFest. So just take what pertains to you here. Trailer arrival. So if you are arriving on Thursday, July 11th, everything needs to be done by appointment. Trailers from Friday, July 12th, anything from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. we will accept and have somebody on site from the LOC and US Rowing to welcome you. If your trailer is arriving between July 13th and 16th, it must be done via appointment. And then your trailer, if it's arriving Wednesday, July 17th, it's able to arrive and park on site from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. once again. And then again, if you are arriving between July 18th and 21st, it is by appointment. So just to make note of what by appointment means, you'll see it in a couple slides, but I have a QR code. There's also a link on Regatta Central. It's been sent out via email a bunch of times. We are tracking all trailer arrivals, and we are requiring everybody to register their trailer before arriving on site. So please, this is extremely important because we want to make sure that we can get you the best spot. But each team must register their trailer before arriving. The US Rowing registration tent, it is not a tent this year. It is actually the first floor of the finish tower. So we are located, you can walk right in. You'll be able to visit us Friday, July 12th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. between July 13th or 16th, starting at 6:30 to the end of racing. And then on Wednesday, we'll go ahead and be open from 8 till 6. And then again, July 18th or 21st, we are available from 6:30 a.m. to the end of racing. At the first floor of the finish tower, you will be able to, one, come in and pick up your team packets, which will include your wristbands, which is what you have to wear to be able to access the water. There's a bunch of goodies in the bag this year, and just some key information for the full race day. Practice for this portion of the regatta takes place on Wednesday, July 17th from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. with the last launch at 5:30 p.m. So everybody must be in the docks and touching the dock at 6 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday, July 17th. And then finally, weigh-in windows. The weigh-in window takes place each morning, July 18th through 21st from 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. And a little bit later, we'll go over the weigh-in procedures as well. So a couple competition notes. The schedule is being posted today. It is complete. We will go ahead and post that on Regatta Central right after this meeting. One thing I do want to note too is for each day, the progression will not change after 9 p.m. the night before that race day. So for example, if we are racing, what day are we on? So if we are racing on Thursday, and let's say a race that's happening on Friday, somebody scratches their entry on that the day before after 9 p.m., we will keep the progression that it once existed with. So if it means now there doesn't need to be heats, because it's after 9 p.m., we don't want to switch it up on you. So we will continue to row both of the heats or however many of the heats is necessary, even though that boat has been scratched. So this just keeps it simple for everyone. We're not throwing anyone for a loop. We're not changing day of progressions, with the caveat that if weather happens, etc., we go through the weather protocols. But just a big note to everyone there. The progressions, so for master's portion of the racing, this doesn't pertain. But again, this is just a note for anybody that was at the beginning of the week that we are progressing from time trials straight to 2,000-meter finals. You all will only be racing 920-meter finals at this regatta. Bow numbers. So if you're picking up time trial bow numbers earlier in the week, you are picking that up at the first floor of the finish tower. All sprint racing bow numbers. So this will only be sprint racing bow numbers from the 18th through 21st. They will be picked up at the docks. We'll also mention a couple notes in the venue maps, but there's 2 dock options. One, Devon Boathouse is where all hot seating will be able to take place. It's within the course. And then the Chesapeake Boathouse, you get a little bit of a longer warm up there. So anybody is welcome to launch from wherever they want to. But this is just a note as we dive into the future. So the pre-arrival checklist, please make sure that all of these things are accomplished prior to arriving on site. 1, have you reviewed the USRowing Code of Conduct? 2, have you reviewed the entry packet? 3, are your athletes up to date on their USRowing memberships? Are your athletes, coaches, and support staff Safe Sport compliant? Are your coaches, support staff on the Regatta Central roster? And finally, all teams must pay their entry fees before picking up at registration. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off now to Cindy and Rebecca for a referee welcome.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I want to thank the 28 referees and all the staff. On behalf of myself and Rebecca, we've been working many months to bring you this event with Sarah. It says we have over 100 years of combined officiating experience, but I think we're probably more than that because I feel like I'm a quarter of that number already. But I'm extremely excited to work with this group of officials. They were selected for this regatta by the referee committee, so it's quite prestigious to be selected to work for all of you. And we are here for the safety of the athletes and to make sure that the winners are decided on the water. So we'll go to the next slide. The rules of rowing. So it's your responsibility to know and understand the rules of rowing. You may have some questions. They will be answered in this book, or the answer will come from this book. So I just left this one bullet. Get to know it. We'll cover a couple of the course specific things in the next slide. All right, so on land. We've been racing, so this is a sprint race like you will have at your typical club events or whatever, but we are weighing in. So a lot of people aren't used to weighing in, and we're going to give you some leeway where you can weigh in only once for the entire regatta. You might be racing on Saturday, you can weigh in on Thursday. You might be racing Sunday, you can weigh in on Thursday. If you are in that mixed B boat at 8 a.m. on Thursday that's coxed, you need to weigh in. Weigh-ins are going to be open from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Chesapeake Boathouse. So that's the one beyond the finish line. So you will need to weigh in 1 hour before your first race. So if you're in that 8 o'clock race that's coxed, make sure you weigh in between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. All right. So coxswains, if you know you're going to carry a weight, bring that weight with you. We may have some supplies, but we don't have a lot of supplies. So if you know you're going to carry weight, bring that weight with you. Lightweights, if you're coming in to weigh, please weigh in as a crew if possible. We are weighing individuals and we are logging individuals. So if you're both a coxswain and racing as a lightweight, just let the weigh-in official know and they will log that weight in for all your events. All right. We will have practice scales available outside the room. You'll fill out one form that just has like your name and club on it. And so the referee can put your log your weight on it as a backup to the timing system, but we will have practice scales. We may have practice scales outside the weigh-in window time so you can check yourself. Not sure on that yet, but we can confirm once we get to the site. All right, any of the other weigh-in procedures, we will be following the book, so you can just check in right there. If you did compete in the youth open section of RowFest, you will need to weigh in again with us starting on Thursday, the 18th, I think. All right, so you must weigh in again for the Masters National Party. Go back there. Okay, so you need to weigh in within an hour of your first race, or you won't be allowed to race. So if your race is Thursday at 1 p.m., you still need to weigh in by 10 a.m. on Thursday before your race, or you're not allowed to race. So we're capturing all the information in an iPad for the timing system, and the officials will have that information. They can look up whether you did weigh or you didn't. All right, so make sure you get that done. Next slide. All right, on land, Control Commission. There are 2 launch sites, one at Chesapeake, one at Devon. Which one do you choose? Well, if you want a longer warm up to the course, opt for Chesapeake. If you want a flatter entrance to the docks and not an incline, go to Chesapeake. Otherwise, you can go to Devon. If you're a para crew, it's suggested to launch from Chesapeake. There's less of an incline there. All right. Both control commissions will be staffed with officials. They will check your wristbands, whether you're an athlete, a coxswain, a lightweight, they will check your wristbands. They will check your safety equipment, your bow balls and your heel ties. I know you want to get on the water. Please check your bow balls and heel ties, make sure they're good to go, and the official will give you a pass. They'll confirm any coxswain's weights against what they're looking at in their iPad system. And they will also log when you launch. All right. So make sure you go through Control Commission. They're going to give you a bow number. The bow number is an alphanumeric bow number. So we know which race and which lane number you're in. So it would greatly help the flow of traffic if you know the event number and the time of your race. You can look up what time it is amidst all the different events and heats that are going on. All right. Because they're alphanumeric, it's only good that one time. So please return your bow numbers when you recover, so we have a full set. All right. If you are hot seating or you intend to hot seat, coaches, please check with the Devon Launch Dock Control Commission and kind of have everything staged. All right. We're going to try and help you out, but we're not going to hold the races. All right. And when you do hot seat, make sure you have the correct bow number. All right. So switch that out before you go launch again. All right. One more friendly reminder, please cover your torso from launch dock till you recover, hips to pitch, just pull your unis up. All right. Next, we move to land, to the water side. So when you warm up, you're launching from Chesapeake or Devon, you're going to go towards the start on the boathouse side, so lane 8. You're going to go above the 2 bridges. So sometimes the course maps have been printed weird. Go above the 2 bridges right at the 1,000 meters. When you're warming up, the warm-up pattern is clockwise on race day. Do not row beyond the warm-up buoys at the 1,500 meter mark. So don't go way up there. We can't find you. We're not going to find you. It's your responsibility to get to your race on time. If you experience broken equipment anywhere on the course or venue, alert the nearest referee. We all have radios and we can try and facilitate finding you your correct equipment we'll try, all right, to find you your equipment, all right. When you get up towards the start area, there will be 2 marshals to help stage the races. It's your responsibility, again, to be on time to the start. The start bridge is one continuous fixed bridge. We're going to load from the lane 1 side, not the finish line, not the boathouse side. We're going to load from the lane 1 side in reverse order so we can get 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Again, if the referees are trying to give you an instruction, just like raise your hand, give a head nod, let us know that you heard us, or we'll just keep saying the same thing over and over. We're parents, we do this. All right. So just a couple of reminders. If you're near the course, the race is in progress, please stop, let the race pass. Don't stop on the start line or the finish line because we have cameras there. We're trying to align, and then try not to do any power strokes or sequences along the race course because that kind of generates a wake. And sometimes you lose track of where you're steering, right, during the race course. So save that for the warm-up area. All right, next we'll go to starts. All right, so once the previous lane leaves, the starter will direct you to enter your lane, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'll need to know how to scull and get attached to the stake boat. Stake boat holders will hold your boat. You must be locked on 2 minutes prior to your race. All right, so we'll be staging everyone prior to your race time, and then you'll come in, well ahead of your race time, and then you must be locked on. All right, so if you can't lock onto your stake boat, it'll result in a warning for late to start. So anytime within that 2 minutes prior to that race, the start will give 2 minutes, and it may start at any time that you're already aligned. Per the rules, hands will not be recognized at the start. All right, the starter will see if it's not safe to start, they won't start. They will be using a polling start, so they will announce all the names of the crews, attention, raise the flag, and go. So if you don't hear it, but you see the flag drop, go. All right. If you're not ready, don't row. All right. If you leave the start, then it's a good start. So you can't protest the start. You can't object to the start if you've left the start. There is a breakage zone. It will be marked. It's 100 meters. And if anything squirrely arises with weather or what have you, the starter might move to a quick start. So again, same procedures as in the book. Next slide. All right, so some directions from the referees to the crews. If there is a false start or if there's any breakage within that 100-meter area, the starter will raise their red flag and wave it around. You'll hear a horn and a siren, and all the crews shall stop and wait for directions as to what to do next. All right, during the body of the course, the following official, if you need to move, we are fully buoyed and only 920 meters. The referee will use their white flag to direct you back into your lane, calling your crew name. All right, the course is fully buoyed. I'm only sending down one official with each race as a safety launch, so they'll be trailing the trailing crew for wake reasons. So again, race course is fully buoyed, so it's your responsibility to stay in your lane. Hopefully we don't have to flag anyone. We're there for safety. At the finish, row through all the orange buoys at the finish line. You'll hear the horn from the finish line tower. There will be a finish marshal. They will check for coxswain's weights at the end of the race. Please wait for the race to be declared official. The following referee will hold up a white flag before you leave the finish area. All right. If you have any questions about your race, please raise your hand at the end and your following referee will come over to you and you can have that discussion before they declare the race official. All right. And when you go away, please move towards lane 1 to enter all the correct bridge arcs so we don't just have a free-for-all going through the bridge. You'll see that on the traffic pattern. All right. And there's a nice big cool down area towards the Chesapeake boathouse. Next slide. All right, so if you had a question about your race and you raise your hand, the referee comes over to you, make sure you have, this is what you kind of want to say, what did happen, how did it affect you, and what you would like, right? And so the referee will try to restore fairness and they will listen to you, all right? If you have any other questions beyond that, these same instructions plus more, again, are in the rules of racing. Other notes. All right, this is my last bit. If you have thunder, if stuff is happening to weather, what do you do? Well, if you're on land, sign up for those text alerts and they will tell you what to do. If you're on water, follow the referee instructions. There will be a slide about evacuation, etc. And the referees will get you in safely. All right. If you have any questions throughout the week, all the referees have radios. So just find a referee and then we can get an answer for you. If you have any medical issues, EMTs are going to be located both at Chesapeake and at the finish line tower. All right. It's going to be hot. So stay hydrated, stay cool. Sarah will tell you where all the water stations and the misting stations will be. I know masters will row like 3-4 races a day. So please stay hydrated, stay cool, and wear your sunscreen. All right. Good luck. Have fun. Sorry. Traffic pattern. I'll turn that over to Gina or Sarah. You want to go over race day practice? Traffic
Yeah,
pattern?
thanks, Cindy. I'm going to actually pass it to Gina from the LOC to review the traffic pattern.
Okay, thank you. So you'll be going up the North Shore in lanes 7, 6, and 8, 7, and 6 are going up on the north side. And then you are allowed to go around the dock, but if you want to, and then come back in, and you can load into the dock, into your lane, into lanes 1, 2, and 3, and then race down in the lanes as your warm up. Lane 4 is a dead lane. Nobody is racing in there. That's where our safety and launches will be puttering back and forth for warm up day, to keep people safe from the oncoming traffic. So when you come down, please do not turn, and at the finish line, please come down and go through the bridge, go towards the train bridge, go around the buoy, and then if you want to go back up, just traverse back to the bridge, get back in the traffic pattern, and go on back up and make your circle. And just keep in the traffic pattern that way. And that's it.
All right, so this is the one for the race day. So you'll see that red buoy, and then you'll see the 2 boathouses marked in orange. You will go up the side closest to the finish line tower and the boathouses. This is, so you'll see this is the map that's printed. And I put a big red X there because we don't want you to turn around between the 2 bridges. We want you to go up. So right between the 2 bridges there is where the 1,000-meter mark is. So you'll see the dark black line. That is the start bridge. So you can't go through the start bridge. You all got to go around the lane 1 side. It says starter, but that's where the aligner tent is. All right, the starter will be behind you. Now, if you have a warm-up area, it is not shown. You will continue up past the 2 bridges and go in a clockwise direction between the top bridge and the 1,500-meter mark. All right, so that is available to you. It's just not shown on the map. Once you race down lanes 1 through 6, 6 being on the boathouse side, you'll see how we want all of the traffic to come back towards lane 1, go through the bridge, and then you can have a nice big cool down circle towards Chesapeake, staying above the railroad bridge.
Awesome. Thanks, Cindy. Gina, if I can pass it to you for the evacuation plan.
Sure. So if we have to evacuate off the water, please listen to your referees. They will help direct you into the docks. So if you are in lanes coming down if anywhere in front of the Chesapeake in that circle, you'll go straight to the Chesapeake dock. If you are in the farther lanes, like 1, 2, and 3, you guys are going to go they'll direct you into the finish line tower dock. That's the straight dock that's right on the riverside. And then the high side of the course, the bigger numbers, 7, 6, 5, you guys are going to go into right into Devon Dock. So quickly get you guys off the water as fast as we can, and then we will direct everybody. So your coaches should know where you're at and to know what dock you're coming into for any assistance, so we can quickly get you off.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. Okay, so unsportsmanlike conduct. Please be respectful to all on the venue, whether they're your fellow competitors on the water, the US rowing staff, the referee corps, or the LOC volunteers. This rule is in effect both on land and on water. It may result in a warning, an exclusion, or a disqualification from the regatta. So please, please just have fun and treat each other with respect.
Great, thanks, Cindy. So to dive into parking here, all teams will receive one complimentary parking pass at their team registration bag. This includes unaffiliated rowers as well. On top of that, any additional parking on site is $10 per day per vehicle. And I'll go over in just a second where that is located. A couple things before we get into it. So trailer parking sponsored by Loves. We're really lucky to have the support of Loves Rest Stop with us. First thing, when your trailer driver arrives on site with their trailer, everybody will be given a gift bag, and it'll include a pretty substantial Loves fuel card in it. So you can take advantage of that throughout the week or on your trip ride home too. On top of that, Loves is also sponsoring a hospitality area for all coaches, support staff, and trailer drivers. So if you're in any of those categories, you will be given a wristband in your team bag. You will have constant access to the second floor of the Devon Boathouse, which is a pretty big area, air conditioned, seating. There's complimentary drinks and snacks in there for these people too, and a great view of the course. So at any point in time, you can go ahead and go in there. It's really important, if you are a coach, support staff, or trailer driver, you will have to register on the Regatta Central support or support staff and coaches list. So I mentioned this on your pre-event checklist of things that you have to do before arriving on site. If you go to the left-hand side of Regatta Central, scroll all the way down, and it has an area to register coaches and support staff. We will download that list, and that's the list that has access to this hospitality area. On top of that, that list also gives access to people that need wristbands, which gives you access to the docks. So if you're a coach or support staff who will be helping out your athletes, you definitely need to be on that list. Otherwise, you will be stopped at the dock and not allowed down to help your crews. So like I mentioned, take advantage of this Loves Hospitality. 2 QR codes here. Number one, we have the Loves app, and it gives you 10 cents off per gallon as you're traveling to Oklahoma City. And then number 2, registering your trailer. So if you haven't registered your trailer, just want to emphasize again, super important to do so. If you are, just to clarify, if you're car topping, you do not need to register on here. You will still be able to have access, etc. But you do not, what we're really looking for is just how many physical trailer spots that we will need. So here's our venue map. You are able to find this on Regatta Central as well, but to touch on some important areas here, anything in this like blue purple color, this is where our team vehicles, spectators, athletes will park. So like I said, each team will receive 1 parking pass. On top of that, or outside of that, it is $10 per day to park here. If these fill up, we also have a link that shows offsite parking and a shuttle system that can get you to the course for free, and you won't even have to worry about driving. So a couple other things to note. Trailers, depending on how you answer the trailer form question will be dependent on where we put your trailer. So it just depends on how many days you're going to be at RowFest. Trailers are parked in this location, in this grassy area up here, and then another grassy area closer to the Devon Boathouse. In this green area is where boat storage and boat laydown is. So if you are car topping, you can put your shell over in this location or closer to the Chesapeake Boathouse. And then I have a couple other things to go throughout the venue with. So we've mentioned Chesapeake Boathouse. This is where weigh-ins are happening. If you are weighing in throughout the regatta, you're going to go into this air-conditioned boathouse and weigh in once per regatta. You'll also note here in this pink square or pink rectangle, this is where you'll pick up your awards at all times. There's also a medical tent on this side. and then a water monster here for you to fill up your bottle as much as possible. You'll also see that this is a very long dock, recovery dock, launch dock portion of it. If you go through this path right here, then we get into the team tent area, this red area. If you have rented a tent through us, you will arrive on site and it'll be labeled with your team name on it. If you are just popping up a tent, it's first come, first serve, take whatever space is available to you. In this orange area, this is our vendor village, so we have a lot of great vendors joining us. And then if you hop to the other side of the Devon Boathouse, we have an athlete shade tent, and that also consists of misters and ergs to warm up or cool down on. So I know a lot of you are racing many, many times. So maybe the idea of hopping on the erg seems like a lot, but hey, if you want to get on there, get either a workout in or just a warm up cool down, you're more than welcome to do that. And this will also be an area alongside the finish tower area where there's another water monster for you to fill up. If you are hot seating or attempting to hot seat, this is the location to do so. So this is the Devon Boathouse docks. This is already into the course, so you are saving meters here. You'll want to launch at this area. If you want a little bit more room to launch, this Chesapeake area is yours too. You can launch wherever you would like. We don't, we'll see how people prioritize which launch dock. So maybe at some points in time, the Chesapeake will be less busy. So you might want to take advantage of that too, but to be determined on that. A couple of other areas to note. Devon Boathouse, I'll go into this in a second, but Devon Boathouse floor 2 is where that coach, support staff, trailer driver, hospitality area is. The first floor is a $10 per day access point where you can get access to air conditioning at any point in time. I'll go into more of that later. Then throughout the venue, so we have the UCO Boathouse, the Youth Pavilion, the Equinox Tent, and the Whitewater Center. This entire venue is just filled with different gadgets, cool things to do, etc. If and when you have downtime, the LOC has provided, and it's on our website and on this presentation, but a Whitewater discounted ticket pass. So you can it's a 3-day pass, and it gets you access to the Whitewater Rafting Center, the zip lining, the rock wall, et cetera, et cetera. So plenty of things to do. And I know a lot of you have not been to Oklahoma City yet, but this is something you want to take full advantage of. Some off-site parking. So the Visitors Bureau and their shuttle system have been working really hard to get us access to a complimentary bus service for all competitors. So this is normally $4 per day per person, but for anybody who is wearing a RowFest wristband, which will be the white USRowing wristband, you will have access to hop on this at any point during the day, and it departs from all of these locations every 20 minutes. This also can drop you off very, very close to the park. You can go ahead and walk down the Bricktown path too. So if you do not want to park on site, you don't want to park off site, you don't want to drive, hop on a shuttle. It's running every 20 minutes, and it's super easy to get there and back. What else are we offering at RowFest? So there's a lot going on here. What I'm touching on in this presentation is just again, like the top of it all. Go to this QR code right here. It brings you to the USRowing website and shows you everything that we have to offer. If you are interested in adding some learning and development sessions to your week, we have quite the variety. On Sunday the 14th, we're offering an indoor rowing coaching course with Lindsay Shoup, who's an Olympian, very successful coach, announcer, does so many things out there. Then Lindsay's joining us for a functional movement class on Monday the 15th. And then Wednesday, we're jumping into introduction to trailer driving, foundations of rigging, how to train like an Olympian through tonal. A long talk is joining us, and then advanced rigging too. So we really have some great speakers and coaches here to help you guide through this. So just fill your week with as many opportunities as you can for this long event. 500-meter night sprints. I know everyone's super excited for this. This is cool. This is the only venue in the country that you can row under the lights. And I know like a lot of people don't get out to Oklahoma often, so really, really want to take advantage of these opportunities here. For the Masters end, we have two 500-meter night sprint opportunities. The first one takes place Friday, July 19th. This is for quads and singles. Space is very limited here, and I am very excited to say we have a $1,000 cash prize for the winner of all of these categories here. So the winner of the men's and women's quad and the winner of the men's and women's single, the boat will be awarded that cash prize too. On top of that, just to set the scene a little bit, you'll cross the finish line. There is going to be sparklers that go off. You'll be under the stadium lights there. The one boat winner that does come in first, you're going to be interviewed on the dock. You'll be throughout the live stream, and then there'll be fireworks after you do your interview. On top of that too, I want to stress space is very, very limited for this. There's only so many hours in the day, and while we can now row when it's dark out because we have stadium lights, we want to make sure that we're not keeping you up all night too. So registration will go live at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Get in there as soon as you possibly can, because I imagine this is going to fill up rather quickly. The second opportunity for 500-meter night sprints is Saturday the 20th. So what we are offering are doubles, Cox 4s, and corporate 8s during this event. Space is limited, but we are referring to this night as flight night. So rather than progressing to your heat and then to a final and one boat wins, we're going down the course. Every race has a winner. So each flight has a winner there. As soon as you cross the finish line, again, sparklers will go off. Then on top of that, at the end of the entirety of the night sprints, there's a fireworks show that'll last a couple minutes for everybody to watch too. If you were at Masters Nationals last year, we also had a Master Social that we were at that really beautiful restaurant in Indianapolis on the waterway. This, I will totally compare it to this because what you can also do too is very much the same thing, but you're watching racing on top of it and you're watching the fireworks on top of it all too. So this QR code will get you tickets to the Master Social. The ticket gets you an open bar, it gets you a barbecue dinner, and then air-conditioned views of the race course too. So that was a ton of fun last year, so really just excited to get everybody in one place again. Other rental opportunities. So we have two opportunities. One, Devon Boathouse space. So this view that you have up here, it is of the first floor of the Devon Boathouse. It is going to be an area you pay $10 per day. You can sit down, you can watch the live stream on the TV. There's a snack bar that gives you options to purchase food or drink. You can stretch, you can hang out, just, kind of relax and recharge in between some of you many races. That's available. I'm going to go ahead and send the link out after all of this. You're allowed to pre-register. There are limited number of tickets to get access to this area per day. So if this is something that you're interested in, I will say to register ahead of time, just to make sure that you can secure that spot too. And you can come and go as you please. So it's $10 once, and you can come in as many times as you want. Another opportunity, if your team or you or a couple teammates are interested in hopping in a tank for the first time, or maybe not the first time, just getting back in a tank, you're welcome to reserve this tank for you to fine-tune your skills, bring your coach in there. It'll be available on 1-hour sessions, and we'll also be sending that link out soon too. Additional RowFest experiences, just to touch on it, we'll be having an opening ceremony with live music and food trucks for you all on that first Thursday. Red Bull is coming out with a big tent, a DJ. That's the night we'll also have fireworks too, so it's going to be a very electric environment. Prairie Brewing's providing every Masters athlete with one complimentary beer ticket. So we'll be traveling off-site that night if you wish to join us for a complimentary beer and then hang out with friends. I know a big portion of Masters Nationals has always been that beer garden, just an opportunity really to like relax and hang out with friends. This beer garden is leveled up a little bit more. You are in air conditioning, you are in a boathouse, and you get to see the entire race course too. So this is something you would head down to the Whitewater Rafting Center, and as Masters athletes, as part of RowFest, you'll receive a discount for that too. All right, Cindy mentioned this earlier. This is extremely important. This texting service is the quickest way to get any and all updates about RowFest. So please text hashtag RowFest24 to this number right here. Remember, once you do text that, opt into being on our contact list. If you do not opt in, you will not get these texts. So you just need to follow up. As soon as you text this, you'll be sent a link and you'll opt into it all. This will give you updates on the fun events that are happening. This will also give you updates if we have any weather, if we have scheduling changes, everything will go through right here too. So very important that everybody has access to this. Finally, that's everything we have. So like I said, I feel like I just scratched the surface, but really excited to have you all in Oklahoma City. This venue is incredible. Really excited for you guys get the chance to participate in the first RowFest ever. So we're really excited to kind of start fresh and reimagine what summer rowing looks like. And then I also want to give a big thank you to Cindy and Rebecca for leading this for the second year in a row for the Masters portion, but jumping into RowFest and planning quite a bit with all of us too. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to stop sharing, and then there's quite a few questions in here. Okay, so I think I answered some of them. Yeah, if your car topping a single, where do you drop the boats and park? You will go ahead and park your car in the blue purple area that I mentioned. You will drop your boat in the boat laydown area, which is the green area on the map. All right, let's see what I have here too. If we are hot seating, Cindy, if I can ask you this actually, if we are hot seating, do we need to pre-coordinate that with the officials? If so, how do we do that?
Yes, so that would be helpful. We are here to help you race. Looking at the, dock situation, I did on the slide say Devon. And so if you could kind of let the official know that you're coming into Devon and they can like pre-stage and look for some crews that are hanging around, they're about to hot seat. But again, looking at, the size of the Devon docks versus the size of the Chesapeake docks, use your judgment and you can use either control commission. But it would be helpful to let the official know that you are there to receive a boat for hot seating, and we will try to facilitate that for you.
Awesome, thank you. Gina, question for you about the course. Do red buoys mark the last question mark meters? So where do the red buoys start on your course?
For the end of the sprints.
Yes.
I'm guessing this is what this person means, yes.
Oh, yeah, it's the last 200 meters.
200?
Yeah, I believe it's the last 200 meters.
Perfect, thank you. Yep, so how do you add dock supports or support staff to Regatta Central for a wristband? Go on Regatta Central, log into your account. On the left-hand bar, you're going to scroll almost all the way down. And there is a button that will say, I'm looking at it right now. The button says coaches and support staff. It is right underneath the registration section, and that's where you'll add everyone. Okay. Will there be a live? Will there be? Sorry, I'm just scrolling through this. There's some questions about additional practice. So the practice that we will have at this regatta is on Wednesday from 1 to 6 p.m. We are not offering additional practice throughout the week. We tried that a couple years ago and it was not very highly attended. So we are practicing Wednesday 1 to 6. And then like we mentioned, there's plenty of racing opportunities that Friday night and Saturday night as well. Okay. Are handicaps counted on the 500-meter sprints? Really good question. No, there are no handicaps on the 500-meter sprints. It is an open event. So this is, it doesn't matter what the age, it is just divided out by gender, but no, there's absolutely no handicaps. There are no letters. It is just completely an open event there. There's a question, this is a good question about event numbers. So this is the forever year-to-year confusion across rowing's standpoint. Event numbers change depending on where you look at them. What everyone should stand by is once we are officially on our timing site on Time Team, those are the event numbers that will best guide the referees in weigh-ins. It'll best help the US Rowing staff in registration to guide what you need to do there. So the reason event numbers change because on Regatta Central, there are some events that do not have any entries. So when it's pulled to any timing site, those aren't recognized and then are not labeled with those. So once everything is on Time Team, you'll go ahead and you can abide by those timing numbers. I will note that if you are specifically at registration, but if you're looking to discuss a certain event, it's always helpful to know what time the event took place. There are over 300 events in this regatta, so I wish we were that good, but we definitely cannot remember what is where. But if you have a general time, that really helps. Gina, this is a question for you. Do volunteers have to pay for parking, and where will they park?
No, volunteers do not have to pay for park. They will be parked up in our staffing parking. So it's up in the gravel lot up behind Whitewater Center.
Awesome, thank you. And then where will volunteers check in?
They will check in at Chesapeake Boathouse at the front desk.
Awesome. Will the 500-meter sprints registration be on Regatta Central? Yes, everything will be on Regatta Central. It'll be open to at the late entry period, which is at noon tomorrow. Is there a volunteer requirement? US Rowing has a volunteer policy requirement that requires each team to provide one volunteer. Please assist the LOC as much as humanly possible here. They're doing fantastic work. But I will also go ahead and put in the chat the volunteer sign up. If you have downtime and if you have not already volunteered for your one shift, please do go ahead, jump in and do so. So I'm going to put that in the chat right now. Okay. All races are 920 meters for masters races. There are heats to finals. So it depends on how many entries are in your specific event, but it is a heat to final progression if that is the progression that makes sense there. Cindy, if I can ask you, please clarify, can coxswains weigh in once for the regatta?
Coxswains weigh in once per the regatta.
Awesome. Okay, a lot of double up questions. Gina, will there be allowance for local crews practicing? I don't know exactly which crew they're referring to, but.
Local crews need to follow the rules stipulated in the regatta portion of their section. So if you are a master rower, you're going to have to follow the rules so your warm-up will be on Friday. If you're in the youth portion, your warm-up will be, your warm-up will be on Friday. If you're in the master's portion, your warm-up will be on Wednesday if you are racing.
Awesome. Gina and Rebecca, local experts here. We have a question. Does the river have a strong current? Any intel would be much appreciated.
Kind of depends on the day and if it's rain hard and if the gates are open. How windy it is.
Awesome, thank you. We have a person acting as dock support. Does she need to be a US Rowing member and have Safe Sport complete? She needs to, this person needs to be on your, on your coaches and support staff. So yes, they need to be a member of your, club here. They need to be registered and they need to be, Safe Sport compliant to get access to the dock. If someone is not going to be on the dock, they do not need, the Safe Sport training to meet the certain level. If you have any questions on Safe Sport, who needs what, etc., please email members@usrowing.org and they can clear that up for you too. Okay. Will there be adequate laydown space next to our trailers, or should we also secure laydown space in the green area? We have over 25 boats coming. Gina, can you best answer that for us?
There is not a lot of space, no, for laydown, because we have lots and lots of tents in our normal laydown space. So, you're gonna have to squeeze in the best you can. Out in the north, the grass area lot, corner lot, there is more space there to lay down boats next to your trailers or near your trailers. Not so much in the finish line tower lot. That's the long concrete lot. Over by UCO, those trailers, there should be a little bit of space over there on that side also. We're just gonna have to squeeze in the best you can.
Awesome. Some rapid fire questions here. If we registered a trailer for Thursday, do we need to make an appointment? No, you do not need to make an additional appointment. If you've already logged in the trailer arrival form, we have your information. All right. How do we make changes to an event? I entered in a double in the wrong category. Please email me. I will forward you to the right person, but it's sarah.mcauliffe@usrowing.org. Do clubs get separate packets for registration for the open youth portion versus the masters portion? Really good question here. So we know the clubs that have athletes registering in both categories. We will have two separate packets. So this may not be true, but we are assuming that most of the time there is a different person picking up the youth packet than there is masters packet. Even if that's not true, that's okay, but we're just keeping it simple and separating it. Also, it reduces risk of people losing their wristbands too. Are there ergs available to warm up? Yes, ergs will be available under that athlete shade tent, which is located by the Devon Boathouse. How many events do you recommend to have between races? Ooh, one thing I will never answer perfectly for anyone. That is totally dependent on your crew. Like I said, we will post the schedule after this meeting. But you know your crew best on how long it takes someone to get there. I will note, Gina, maybe you can give us a rough time on how long it takes to get from Devon to the start of the course on a absolutely perfect day. But with the caveat that, it totally depends on your crew here.
Well, you're rowing pretty much 2,000 meters. So if you're rowing out of Chesapeake, it's about 2,000 and maybe 50 meters. If you're coming out of Devon, well, it's a little bit less. So probably about 1,800 meters up to the start. So however long it takes you to get to the start, plus remember, there is a little bit of traffic. You're going to have to maneuver on the way up. And then how quickly you race down, how fast you get down, and how quickly you get back to the dock. So again, like Sarah said, it depends on your crew. I'd say at least 40 minutes round trip for a 2K. 1K is probably 30 minutes round trip, but you got to remember there's going to be a lot of traffic. So I would lean on the longer side and give yourself plenty of time.
Can we bring our own team tents or do we have to rent one? No, you are more than welcome to bring your own pop-up tents. We have secured a lot of rentals for people because they didn't want to bring their own. But you are more than welcome to bring yours.
Sarah, how should they secure their tents? With spikes?
Good question.
No.
Not with stakes.
Not with stakes.
Gina, can you touch on that for
No.
us?
No stakes in our ground, please. We have lots and lots of water lines that run under our ground, sprinkler systems everywhere. So please do not stake your tents into the ground. You need to use some kind of weights like sandbags, things of that nature, buckets of water, whatever works for you, but no stakes in the ground, please.
And you want them lowered at the end of each day?
Yes, and you will be lowering them every night to the ground because we can get random high winds in the middle of the night. And next thing you know, your tent is now a buoy on the course. So we would rather not have those unnecessary extra buoys on our course. So please make sure they are lowered completely to the ground and everything is tied down and covered.
Perfect. Gina, there's just a couple of things in here. I think there was a confusion of what was said. So it does not take 2,000 meters to row to the start of the 1,000 or of the 920 meter.
Oh, yeah,
line.
sorry. I'm confused. Too many CNC meetings together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally. So, sorry, if we can just clarify that point.
Yeah, so sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so however long it takes you to get from the dock to go about 1,000 meters, because you're gonna have to go up around the bridge. So you are going to be passing the actual 1,000-meter mark. And then you're going to go through the bridges and then come back through to get into alignment. So however long it takes you to paddle, if you're paddling to 1,000 meters, and then however long it takes you to race down, and then you have to spin and go around the loop and come back up to the dock. So I would give yourselves 40 minutes, because with traffic, at least a minimum of 40 minutes, but please do not use that as a qualifying time, that if you did not make it in that round for 40 minutes and you did not make it to the dock and you did miss your race, please, it's still your decision on how much time to take. Because again, like Sarah said, I don't know your crews. I don't know how fast they race. I don't know how fast they paddle. So.
Awesome. Thank you. What are our racing centers? 5 minutes. And I say that in a perfect world right now, like things can change if we have weather, etc. But they are currently 5 minutes. Rebecca and Gina, I'm going to pass this one back to you. Will the tornado siren go off during the regatta? I know the first time I heard the test, I was alarmed. So if you haven't been to Oklahoma City, this is the thing. But if you guys can address that.
Normally it does, but not always. So may or may not. Typically it does at around noon, but not always. And if there is weather in the forecast, it will not go off because they don't want to confuse people. If there is imminent severe weather coming in, they do not want to confuse that with the just the siren test.
Awesome, thank you. With the AC space limited and cost person day, do you have other cooling spaces? So big shout out to the venue. We have multiple opportunities to get in space throughout. So our weigh-in area is in the air-conditioned space. Like I said, our Devon Boathouse is an air-conditioned space. Our registration area is air-conditioned, and we also have the cooling and shade athlete tent on the other side of Devon Boathouse. That has misters, that's shaded, etc. too. The Whitewater Rafting Center, where you can go and explore, and there's the restaurant on site. That's a great opportunity to get out of the sun too. But do bring pop-up tents. We have one thing I didn't touch on, and totally my mistake, is the medical areas in depth. We have one medical area located in the Chesapeake Boathouse. We have one medical area right next to the Finnish Tower. So between the two of those, we have 2 people who are working each of that. And there's a water monster in each of those locations too, along with one on the other side of the Devon Boathouse. So plenty of opportunity to stay hydrated, to stay under some shade. Like I said, bring your pop-up tents too. But you know, bring sunscreen. We'll have some sunscreen samples for everyone located in your coach's bags and in the athlete area too. So just keeping everyone cool out there. And I know you guys are racing a lot, so stay shaded while you're not out there on the water. Will advancing crews be placed in the center lanes outward in the final? That is the current plan. If there is a dramatic shift into how we need to progress for fairness, we'll look at that too. But that is the plan. Okay, I know for lightweights, you only have to weigh in once for the whole regatta. Can athlete weigh in on Thursday of the lightweight, if the lightweight race is on Friday?
Yes. Oh, my microphone's
Sorry.
on. Yes,
I didn't set you up, Cindy. I'm
lightweights
sorry.
can weigh in on Thursday if their race is on Friday.
Perfect. If there is a question about disability request form, if there's anything that you want us to better answer, if you have any accommodations that we can help with, there's a disability request form on the RowFest website page. Please do fill that out. I know a lot of people have already, and we've been responding back and forth with them. We want to make everyone as comfortable as we possibly can. So yes, please do fill that out and we can talk to you through that form as well. This person did not get a reply back for the texting service. I will go ahead, if you want to just send me a note if something didn't go through, I can tell you if you're already on it or not. But if you are not already on it, you should have received a way to add USRowing as your contact. But if you're already on it, you probably won't receive anything. So I'll double check. Jonathan, I see you here. I'll send you a note after this.
I just signed up during this meeting and I did not get a reply. I'm gonna guess one.
Awesome. Okay. So 2 more questions here. Our master's team has 4 people. Are they required to volunteer? So within our USRowing volunteer policy, I'm going to go ahead and link this as I'm talking. But it requires any team that has over 2 athletes to provide a volunteer to assist the LOC here too. So please, there's a lot of opportunities to meet that volunteer requirement. Sorry, I'm just linking this real quick so I don't miss anyone. We appreciate everyone's support in the meantime. Okay. Awesome. Everyone's participating so much. This person just signed up and it worked. Thank you. Is there a risk of racing being delayed or canceled for heat? Always, depending on where you are. We are constantly monitoring any and all weather out there. If you all have not met Tom Rooks, who's USRowing's Director of Safeguarding, he's absolutely fantastic. He is monitoring weather for the event 24/7. He's looking at AQI, thunderstorms coming in, wind coming in, the wet bulb temperature, etc. So this is always something we're monitoring there. So yes to all of those things. We're constantly working to make sure that you all are racing in safe conditions. So we are providing as many things as we possibly can to keep you all cool. And I will say, like, you all know yourselves the best. So make sure you're taking care of yourselves there too. All right. Racing landings. I think this is everything we have. Awesome. Well, thank you all for participating in this. This is being recorded. It will be posted on Regatta Central after this is all done. But otherwise, we will see the great majority of you Wednesday, Thursday of like about the 16th, 17th. But we may see some of you this coming Friday as well. So happy travels. Thanks for all of your help on this, and fast racing to you all.